morning. Dwayne here, Dry Creek Wrangler School. 22nd of April. So we've got 8 days left to the first class of the new year of school. And so we're getting down to the wire. We're going to have everything done. So the wind's not blowing horribly today, but it's cold out. And so I came in here in the tack shed and built a fire here in the wood stove and see if we can't make a video. I'm kind of having a hard time keeping up with everything, getting all the school ready and getting everything done and making videos and the podcast and everything. But we're going to see if we can't catch up this morning. All right. You know, and I'm not going to be preaching at you this morning, but there's a verse of scripture in the Bible that says you reap what you sow. And it's a truth that we all know that there's cause and effect in our life. You do this, that happens. All right. You stop at the bar, have a few drinks, get in the car to drive home, and they get stopped, you get a DWI. The wife asks, does this dress make my butt look big? And you're dumb enough and you say, well, yeah. Then you're in trouble. You get smacked. All right. There's cause and effect. And we go through life and we recognize that. Sometimes we ignore it, but we recognize it. And we'll say, you know, my life is in turmoil. My life is in a bad situation because I did this. So there's an active result. I did this. This happened. But you know, that's only half the equation. There's another half the equation. And I think there's folks who sit out there and say, you know, my life is not successful. My life is not where I want it to be. It's not happy. But I haven't had any active repercussions in response to direct actions that I have done. So I don't know what the problem is. Well, there's passive, indirect responses to our actions that are just as real, just as prevalent. I'll give you an example. In 2022, my wife and I, we have a brand. We have our own brand that we've had many, many years. So for our anniversary, we wanted to get matching belt buckles, custom-made belt buckles with our brand on it. And you see in the videos, you'll see we're wearing them, with our brand. So we researched and she found a company on Etsy that makes custom belt buckles. So we ordered belt buckles. Now, I'm not going to tell you the name of the company. All right, I'm not on here to actively. We have not done any like that, and I will never use this channel as a bully pulpit for something like that. Okay, it's just a story. It's an illustration of a truth. Okay, so you can't contact the people directly. You can only get on their Etsy and email and wait for a response. Responses were slow to come. But eventually, many weeks down the road, way more time than they told us on the channel it would take, we got the belt buckles, 2 belt buckles. They were matching, except mine had my name, hers had her name, and hers was smaller than mine. But the engraving on it looked like a 6-year-old had done it with a wood chisel and a hammer. It was horrendous. I've never engraved anything in my life, and I could have done a better job. I mean, it was absolutely terrible. So we took pictures and sent pictures and said, is this acceptable? Is this what you guys think it should be? Oh, no, we don't know how that, no, goodness, send that back. It had already been weeks, but we sent them back. And it was weeks, many, many weeks later, we got 2 more belt buckles. Now mine looked all right, hers was upside down. They had put the buckle parts on the back, they'd put all upside down, and it was just a common mess. So we contacted them and sent it back. And it was weeks, many more weeks, and we finally got another belt buckle. 8 months. This saga for forget the anniversary, it was long gone. This saga to get 2 simple belt buckles took 8 months and 3 tries. And we got we're sorry about that. And so the point of this is, we just, Dwayne and Deanna Noel, here's our address, okay? I didn't raise Cain on their Etsy. I didn't go a campaign we didn't do nothing. It's like, okay, there it was. So there was no, for their sloppiness, for their carelessness, for all of their poor business practices, for everything, there was no immediate, direct, active repercussions. But this YouTube channel is 580,000 people. They missed out on a tremendous opportunity. If they had been just helpful, communicative, courteous, done things upright, if they had been professional, this was something really special for Deanna and I, and we would have gone there and said, hey man, look what we got. And this is where we would give them a free shout out just out of delight. So they didn't have repercussions, but they missed a huge opportunity, and they'll never even know it. They'll never even know it. And we go through life and we are rude, we are discourteous, we are unprofessional, we are not directly attacking people, but we're definitely not being beneficial. And we think that because we're not getting physical, active repercussions in return, that we're not paying a price for it. And that's not true. I worked for the wrangling outfit in South Texas. Now, some of you's been on here for a long time. You know where I was. I'm not going to give you the name. I'm not going to name the owners or anything like that. Not a bully pulpit. Just giving you some reality of life here, okay? Well, I came on there, and I was there for a little while, and one of the people who had been there the longest, who was in another area on the ranch, wasn't in the horses and wrangling stuff, said, yeah, you're not going to last long. You won't be here long. And I'm like, well, why is that? And they said, because you're competent. When the owner finds out that you're competent, you know what you're doing, he's going to take that as a challenge, and he's going to send you packing. He's going to run you off. And I said, well, I hope not. I'll just do my best and carry on. I was just there for a few months, wasn't there long, and I'm a good hand, and I'm good with horses, and I know what I'm doing, and they didn't do right, and he did. He run me off. He's like, you got to go by now. His times are slow, and you got to go, So we left. I didn't fuss at him, didn't say nothing, didn't get on here. I haven't named the ranch, haven't named him, haven't named anything. But again, we have this, so we went and started the school. And I have people who are paying, we're booked through the year. People are paying a respectable amount of money to come and spend a week here to learn and to ride with me. Now, this was before the channel took off, got as big as it is. But if I was still riding for that outfit, and I got on today as an employee of that outfit on this channel and said, look, I'm employed working for such and such guest ranch, and I'm leading out guest rides, and y'all ought to come down and ride with me. How much would his business have grown? How many of you who cannot take the time and spend the money to come spend a week in Wyoming and do this in the area would say, you know what, let's go down and let's go ride, and let's go ride with Dwayne down there for a day. How many would have done it? How big would it have gotten? There was no active physical direct impact on him for his ignorance and his immaturity and his rudeness and just all that happened there. But there was definitely a cost. Now it's not a cost as in taking away what he has, but definitely a cost in him not getting what he could have had. You understand what I'm saying? And it's the same everything in life, okay? We talk about horses a lot, and we go out and we think, well, I did this and I went through this and I didn't get bucked off. So there was not a direct repercussion for my incompetence, for my ignorance, for my carelessness, for my whatever. So I got away with it. I got away with just going out there and slopping and gomming along on the horse but you're not getting what you could get. You're not even remotely discovering what is there and possible with your horse. The relationship you could have, the ride that you could have, the communication that you could have. What is available. You're not acquiring the actual joy that you could get from your horse and the relationship that you guys could have. There is a direct correlation between a lack of success and a lack of study, between a lack of success and a lack of application, between a lack of success and a lack of courtesy. If you're not being courteous to your horse, you say, well, I'm not. I look at it and you're not being courteous to your horse, and your horse isn't kicking you in the head or bucking you off. And so people would say, well, there's no correlation there. There's no payment in kind. Yeah, there is. The payment is often in life is what you're not getting. All right. In your relationship, in your marriage, all right, you're not being thoughtful to your spouse. You're not being gentle and courteous to your spouse. You're not being respectful to your spouse. And you think that because your spouse isn't leaving or isn't kicking you out or isn't cheating or isn't any of that, they're just taking it, they're just enduring it. You think, well, see, there's no repercussions in my behavior. Yeah, there is. There absolutely is. You've got a miserable marriage. You've got a relationship that's just existing. And all of the fire and all of the spark and all of the joy and all of the oh man, what's the word I want? Dude, there's a whole separate cosmos discovered when two souls come together. The souls actually come together. And so you're paying by what you're not getting. By what you're not getting. And so sometimes when you look and you say, I'm not getting this out of life, and I'm not getting that out of life, and I'm not getting this out of life, maybe it is in response. Maybe it is a passive. I believe we can use that word. I'm sure there's probably a very intelligent philosophy behind this. I don't know what it is. This is just what's been going through my head. But maybe you are paying a passive price for your decisions and your lack of courtesy with people, your lack of respect for people, your lack of hard work, your lack of paying attention. All right. you work with heavy machinery and you don't pay attention, you could get crushed. That's an active response. Okay. You work with people and you don't pay attention, you could miss out on tremendous friendships, tremendous, what's the word I'm looking for? Contacts. Let's see, here I am. Networking. That's what I'm trying to think of right there. Successful life is a series of networks. You meet this person, this happens, and it's positive and it's good. Well, this person knows this person. And so you network through them to this person, and this person is able to introduce you to this. And it's all very actively positive just because of how you met this person. I feel like I'm walking through molasses here. I don't feel like I'm communicating clearly what I'm trying to communicate. All right. But just don't judge your lack of success based solely on the active repercussions that you're not getting. All right. So this may be one of those talks that you're going to have to listen to 2 or 3 times and sort it out and think about it. Like, what is that woolly old fool talking about? Okay. There is more to what we have to pay than what comes directly out of our pocket. All right. Sometimes what we wind up throwing away and not getting that we don't even know about is more expensive than what we have to physically pull out of our pocket. All because we're arrogant, we're rude, we're sloppy, we're careless, we don't pay attention, okay? We don't pay attention to details, we're not professional, all right? And it all costs something. There is, for every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. For every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. And if you say, Dwayne, I'm not getting satisfaction out of my horse, I'm not getting that connection, I'm not getting the results of what I wanted when I got into horsemanship. Well, that may be that passive price that you're paying for what you're not putting into the relationship. You're only going to get out of it what you put into it. All right. And so the negative payments is not always, like I said, getting kicked or getting bucked off or getting scraped under a tree. All right. A lot of times it's just, you don't get what you're looking for. All right. So I'm going to quit there. I think I have muddied them waters enough. And so I'm going to leave that there so you can have the time to sort through it. What I'm smoking here, I got one of Steve Saka's Sober Mesa. This cigar is one for me personally that, man, I just don't know. It's a good cigar. It's an excellent cigar. But it falls in the palate spectrum in a place that I don't normally look for. It's a smooth cigar. It's got flavor. And it's not one of those just a lot of bland smoke, but at the same time, it doesn't have that sharp kick that I prefer. And so it's a good cigar in the middle. Like yesterday, I had last night I had a Partagas Black Label, and that's like my number one favorite cigar, which is a good strong black cigar. Usually of a morning, I'll have like a Charter Oak Connecticut shade. This one just falls in the middle. I don't want one that smooth. I don't want one that strong and that kicking. And it's a good quality cigar. So they're selling these on cigarplace.biz. And so if you haven't tried these before, you ought to try them. And if you haven't ordered from Cigar Place, They're sponsoring on here, then you ought to give them a try. I haven't had anybody contact me and say, we tried them and it didn't work out, but I've had a number get on and say, Dwayne, I tried Cigar Place, ordered from them, and man, they took good care of me and did a great job. So it's hard to find a good brick and mortar cigar shop these days close by. And so you pretty well have to depend on online places, and that's a good one to try. All right. So anyhow, I hope this finds you in a good place today, and I hope this talk didn't muddy the waters and confuse you too bad. I hope you get a little bit of something out of it, and we wish you guys all the best. And just be logical, be reasonable, be safe, have fun, be courteous and professional. All right? The devil's in the details. The devil is in the details. We'll catch you guys next time.